Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Season 3, Week 8 of the DC Sports Digest. A bit quieter this week, but there's always lots to talk about. So without further ado, let's just get started. Starting with the Nats, we actually have a decent bit of news. Earlier this week, they traded Jose Ferrer to the Mariners for Harry Ford and Isaac Lyon. And this is a pretty solid move for the Nats because Harry Ford is one of the top catching prospects and could be a potential starting catcher for us. We do have Keibert Ruiz, but I feel like his ceiling is only so high, so I think it's great to have a young prospect like Harry Ford. And we're not trading away nothing to the Mariners. Jose Ferrer definitely had a lot of potential and has a lot of upside, so he could do some good things for the Mariners if developed correctly. But I think it's a good move. But again, best of luck to Jose Ferrer and the Mariners, and really excited for Harry Ford and maybe even Isaac Lyon on the Nationals. The draft lottery also happened this week. We got the number 11 pick. Just a reminder, we can't have like a top 10 pick for a certain number of years in a row. So we had a lot of those, obviously, since we've been really bad. So we got the number 11 pick. So about the best case scenario we could have had. And we extended Josiah Gray to avoid arbitration. He got a new 1-year deal. So I'm excited to see him use an all-star in 2023, so hopefully he can be back to that form next season. That's all I have for the Nats. On to the Wizards, they lost to the Hawks and Cavs. They lost pretty big to the Hawks. Cavs had a close game, but Bub and CJ both had 27. But CJ was really bad down the stretch in that loss to the Cavs. Marvin Bagley also had a double-double, but that was definitely a winnable game. We were up, I think, at one point, like 14 to 15 points. And unfortunately, lost that game. I guess the tanking continues. But coming up this week, we have games versus the Pacers and the Spurs. That's all I have for the Wizards. On to the Caps. We beat the Blue Jackets, but lost to the Hurricanes in the shootout. That's our shootout was continue. We have an 18-9-4 record for 40 points. That would put us at second place in the Metro Division. Ryan Leonard's unfortunately out 3 to 4 weeks. And Charlie Linger is put on IR. I'm not exactly sure how long that injury is yet, but I will let you guys know when I know. And Logan Thompson earned his 100th career win, so congrats to him, and also got a shutout versus the Blue Jackets. Unfortunately, like I said, the shootout struggles continue versus the Hurricanes. They're 0-4 this season. It sounds like they might make some changes, but they definitely need some changes because that is really not good in a shootout. Obviously, you don't have to deal with that in the playoffs, but you still want to get those couple points in the regular season because those 4 points we're missing out on from shootouts could make a big difference. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully we can actually win a shootout this season. And one other piece of unfortunate news, our first-time pick, Lyndon Lakovic, is out for the season. So wishing him a speedy recovery. And coming up this week, we have games versus the Jets, Wild, and the Maple Leafs. That's all I have for the Caps. On to the Commanders, we've had a really lifeless loss versus the Vikings. We've had a lot of bad games this season. This was definitely up there. We got shut out. Unfortunately, Zach Ertz is out for the season. He got hit in his knee area. He has an ACL tear. That could be a potentially career-ending. So I feel really bad for him, but he's done really well for us in his 2 years here. No one was really expecting much, but he was a big part of last season, even this season too. Look at the Broncos game. He had 10 receptions and 160 yards. Like, just doing that is huge for whatever quarterback's playing. So thank you very much to Zach Ertz if it's the last game of your career. Jaden was hurt again after throwing a pick. He re-injured his elbow. He was hit again. He sat the rest of the game. He's okay, but he's going to miss the game versus the Giants. And I think now they're finally considering shutting him down. I think at this point they should. I think I heard one interesting point that he's had 3 injuries, but they've all been to different places. But this is the first time he's re-injured something, so I think that actually is significant. So I think at this point, it probably is right to shut us down. And obviously now we're officially eliminated from the playoffs, so you might as well. So I think shutting him down makes the most sense. And you could say we're tanking, but it really is unfortunate because we are actually trying to win these games, and we are just falling flat on our faces. But at this point, we have, the 6th pick. We could lose to the Giants and really get a higher pick. So we'll see what happens with that. And yeah, that's really all I have for the Commanders. They have a game versus the Giants this week. Could be important for our draft pick. That's all I have for the Commanders. Other DC sports news, not really too much. DC Power lost to Dallas, and they have a game today versus Lexington. On my weekly awards, my game of the week is the Capitals for beating the Blue Jackets 2-0. My play of the week is Logan Thompson for reaching 100 wins and recording a shutout versus the Blue Jackets. And my team of the week is the Caps for 3 points this week because no one else really deserved it. They were the most deserving team, even though they lost in the shootout, but they did get a win also versus the Blue Jackets. That's all I really have for this video. I wanted to let you know, maybe I mentioned it before, but if I haven't, next game log will be on 12/21. I'll be watching the Wizards take on the Spurs. And luckily, Victor Wembanyama is back in action, so I'm pretty excited to see him. So I'll obviously record it on that day, and then it'll be out the following week because I'll be on winter break, so I'll have time to edit it. So hopefully, within the next couple days of that game vlog, the video will be out. So stay tuned for that, and check out the Instagram. And thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.